Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Sal's Comic Roundup. I'm obviously Sal, so let's get into the rounding up of comics, shall we? Now, Dean Tripp, if you're not familiar, is a comic book artist who's worked on a number of works, including the webcomic Butterfly, the graphic novel Power Lunch, and he's part of the Image Comics anthology Comic Book Tattoo. But the reason why I'm talking about him today is his Kickstarter effort. Now, I'm pretty late to the party on this one, but out of the $6,400 that he was asking for, he raised over $48,000 before the clock ran out, so I don't think he really needs my help in promotion. I wanted to take a minute to just talk about what an incredibly moving, talented, thoughtful piece Something Terrible is. It's available as digital download for about $1, and I'm going to make a link in the description box down below for you to be able to pick it up. You can also read the abridged version for free, but I honestly recommend picking up the whole comic. I just wanted to say that I admire Mr. Tripp's strength and his integrity for telling his story, and for taking the unthinkable and turning it into just an inspiring piece of art. So, thank you for that. Moving on, I want to talk about Yale Stewart's webcomic JL8 returning from hiatus, and now we can look forward to weekly adventures in the lives of 8-year-old versions of the Justice League, finally. We actually got a chance to talk with Mr. Yale Stewart about comic art and all kinds of stuff at the few Baltimore Comic-Cons ago, and I'm going to make that video available right here. So you can click that and watch us chat, and it's a lot of fun. He's a really great guy. Honestly, this is the preferred version of the DC Universe at this point for me. The idea of a line-wide reboot in the New 52 isn't really a bad one, especially if your continuity is making new and wider audiences unreachable. But from day one, this reboot was just mishandled with poor editorial decisions, questionable creative decisions, no clear-cut message other than things are kind of different now. It's just a mess of continuity, and I am just flat-out turned off by most of what they're trying to do over there. It's just quite the mess. So I welcome comics like JL8 to allow us to enjoy our favorite characters in a pure and innocent way. So if you're like me at all and you're a fan of the iconic DC characters, but you can't stand stuff they're doing like women in sewers eating faces, which is real, check out the all-ages webcomic JL8. It's great, you can read it with your kids. And finally, I'm really excited to talk about the fact that Superior Spider-Man will be coming to a close. Or rather, I should probably amend that to mean that Amazing Spider-Man will be coming back in both his consciousness and in his aforementioned comic book title. I have no idea if they're going to keep the title Superior Spider-Man going, but it would probably make sense because it's a best-selling title right now and it's doing really well. You got Dan Slott and you got Christos Gage as the writing tag team on that title, and it kind of makes sense that they would keep it going. You've got the canceled book Scarlet Spider, so you have a character there. You have the Spider-Man from 2099 running around. So there's all kinds of opportunity for ancillary Spider-type people to have their own best-selling book for at least a couple of months. Now, look, we're all familiar with the death threats and the vitriol that was thrown about at the writer Dan Slott for towing the line about Peter Parker being dead forever, despite the fact we all kind of knew that it wasn't going to be true. But the even more surprising and perplexing backlash that I'm seeing people outraged about now is that Peter Parker is coming back. People are actually pissed off that Doc Ock isn't going to be Spider-Man forever. People have really taken to the idea of a redemptive villain in the guise of a hero. Now, if you're not familiar with the story, Doc Ock killed Peter Parker, and he took over his dual identity, vowing to be the Superior Spider-Man. And I would be all over that concept if that's what the tone of Superior Spider-Man was. But it isn't. It's just another chapter in the long book that is called Spider-Man. And this is no different. If they were interested in legitimately showcasing a villain redeeming himself, I don't think the writers would have worked quite as hard to make the 26 issues so far of the title character being an insufferable jackass. I mean, 5 issues? I get it. 10 is kind of pushing it, but we're 26 and counting issues here, people. The man purporting himself to be superior is in fact inferior at maintaining both identities in a positive way. He may have had a few successes, but Peter Parker is all about the long distance, and I don't think that Doc Ock quite has the legs to make it in this race. I am sorry for that joke. That was intentional. Anyway, that's it for us today on Sal's Comic Roundup. Question for you guys, what sorts of comics are you interested in? Do you like superhero, realistic, cartoony style? Let me know in the comments below the video. And if you happen to enjoy the show, give the like button some attention and subscribe to the channel. And if you're looking for more, you can click the box right over here for another video from Little House Online. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. And if you have any time, stop on by littlehouseonline.com.